Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to the room. I am your host. Uh, I'm your host, Bert Wright, and I want to welcome you to tonight's segment of the room. Um, I want to give you an opportunity to come on in and like, tag, and share. Blessings to everybody that's coming in. God bless you. Thank you for taking the time to join. Hello to you coming on in. Come on in, say who you are, say hello, where you're watching us from, and go ahead and like, tag, and share. And then when you have shared, go ahead and share. Sister Jamie Cooper, good to see you. Good to see you. Hello to you. Good evening to you. Please like, tag, and share. Sister Claudia, thank God for you. Good to see you again. Please go ahead and like, tag, and share on tonight. So as you're coming in, go ahead, everybody, like, tag, and share. That's right. Sister Claudia is watching us from Brazil. I want to shout out my wife tonight, Danielle Wright, overseer Danielle Wright. She's on with us. Yeah, I appreciate her. Sister Maria Acevedo, hola, hello to you. Thank you for being on and joining the room on this evening. Everybody that's on, go ahead and hit that share button. Go ahead and like it and go ahead and tag some people and let them know. Come on in the room. We're getting ready to get started. We're going to take a moment. You go ahead and do that. And then when we have a moment, we will return and we'll start our conversation. How about that? So go ahead and just like, tag, and share, and then we'll come back. Thank you for coming on in. God bless you. Okay. Yes, Richardson, thank you for joining. We appreciate you. I bless God for each one. I pray everyone had a productive day. I pray that you had a balanced day, if you will, a productivity, um, that you were able to handle some affairs and take care of some business. I pray and hope that that was on your agenda today. And I pray that this moment will be worth your while for the few moments that we are together, because we're not together all night. We're only together for a few moments. And so, since we only have a few moments, we might as well go ahead and jump in and begin a conversation because it's going to be good. The conversation is going to be good. Sister Yvette, blessings to you. Blessings to you. Thank you for joining. And to Deacon Richardson, blessings to you. All right. We're grateful. We're grateful. Grateful to have all of you on. All right, Mother Jackie, God bless you. All right, we're going to go ahead and move in our segment this evening. The Lord is, He's faithful. He's been faithful to us, and I'm grateful for Him. If this is your first time, let us know where you're watching from. Come on in. You don't have to be shy. This is a safe place. And so we want to uplift, encourage. We want to inspire, instruct as the Lord gives us what to say. And I believe that this segment is going to be one of those segments where we get an opportunity to say what He said. Sister Sharon, thank you for joining us tonight. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, let's get going. Y'all like the graphic behind me? Let me see if I can slide over and let y'all see the new graphic. Yeah, that was done Yeah, y'all see that? Y'all see that? Maybe if my head wasn't right in the way, maybe y'all could see a little bit better. But yeah, there it is. Y'all like that graphic? That graphic was done by none other than my wife. Yeah. Overseer Danielle. All right. And so it is, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Props and shout out to her. It's that was good. You know, I didn't see anything wrong with the last one, but of course, we always got to take it up a notch. Things always have to get better when we're trying to do more. And so, listen, I'm grateful for it. I love her and I appreciate her. Last week we were in Pet Mail. Man, it was an amazing time. That's pastors, executive team, marketplace leaders. Um, yeah, under the direction and leadership of Bishop uh, Robert Christopher Brown III and Lady Trina Brown. We thank God for them. Those two that I just mentioned are my pastors, and I'm affiliated with Kingdom Fellowship Ministries. I pastor one of the greatest churches on this side of heaven, and that is the Restoration Place, a place to be restored. And we are absolutely thankful and grateful to be and have an opportunity to serve them as their lead servant. Sister Diane, thank you for joining us on this evening. We're just thankful and grateful to the Lord for all of his people and all of his it's just good things that he's doing. Yeah. And so tonight I want to just talk for a few minutes, but I really wanted to have a conversation with individuals who um, are in business, um, maybe have a business, thinking of a business, have a business idea, don't know which way to take it, don't know which way to go with it, but you know that it's on your heart, right? Now, first things first, the first thing we must uh, differentiate, the first thing we must say and put as our boundaries is that everybody, unfortunately, will not be a business owner, right? Unfortunately, That's the first thing. Maybe that might take a little bit sweat off your brow. Maybe that that might have lifted something off of your shoulders. Uh, it's not that you don't have what it takes. It's just that there's a special grace that comes along with it, brothers and sisters. And I want to tell you that the typical person works 35, 40 hours, maybe 50 hours a week. The typical business owner does not do 9 to 5 every day. The typical business owner starts, I believe their base is at 55 and they're up to 80 plus hours. So they're putting in 2 weeks, they're putting in twice as much work in 1 week as many of us do for our 40 hours, right? So they do that. They do 2 weeks worth of work in 1 week, and so you've got to have a knack for that, right? You've got to have a drive for that. And I want to talk some plain things, and I want to just help somebody. And so a business owner, go ahead and tell them to lean in. Come on, tell them to join in this conversation. Um, Maybe I might say something tonight that would help them get some levels of insight. Maybe they may need to go back to and revisit something. But the first and foremost thing is that um, outside of first understanding if you've been called to it, because I want to tell you this, that uh, marketplace ministry is a calling. It's really not just something. Being a business owner is a calling. It's not just something that we just, one day I'll just start a business. No, it's a calling. It's a calling. And the reason, and I've heard this, and I believe I heard my wife say this in many moments where she was speaking to marketplace leaders, that the reason why it is necessary for you to create the business or create and step into the arena called marketplace is because God is getting ready or preparing you to be an answer, right? Business typically is to see a problem and create a solution, right? You start a business to create a solution. And that's a calling. That's a calling, brothers and sisters. That's a calling. I told you the room is about everything. The room is, we're going to be talking about a little bit of everything on the room. So I know we talked about some spiritual things, and it sounded like we were getting preachy, but here's some more practical things that you can kind of grab hold to. And so if you know somebody that's that business owner, you need to get them in this space. You need to get them in this moment, get them in this room right here, because they must, as you got to understand, first and foremost, it's a calling. And once you recognize the call, right, then you can go on from there, beginning to walk out what it takes to become a business owner. Now, one thing I want us to really reflect upon, brothers and sisters, is that we have to understand that this thing must be at the core of our heart. It must be at the core of our heart. We cannot desire to do it one day and decide that we're going to stop it the next day, and then desire to pick up something on another day. No, whatever is on you, you have to, or whatever is in you and placed upon your heart, you've got to work that thing daily. Because watch this, lean in, business owners. There are no off days for entrepreneurs. You got to create moments, but there are no off days. There, you know how everybody works 5 days a week or whatever it may be. They may get off a day here or a day there, whatever whatever they do. Uh, Typically, people get the weekend off from work, but there are no weekends off, right? So when everybody's and especially especially when it's moments where people are finding themselves comfort and and sleeping. Not business owners. Business owners get up before everybody else, right? And they go to sleep after everybody else. Why? Why? Because it's at the heart. It's at the heart. I've got the heart for this thing. I'm not just in it to be a fly by night, right? Because to be a business owner and to step into the arena of marketplace ministry, it is a calling. It is a calling, and it must be at the core of your heart. It must be something that you are persistent in. It must be something that you are able to understand, that it's not just a fluttery feeling in my heart. You understand what I'm saying? You know, ooh, I think I'll just open up. No, no, it's not just one of those fluttery feelings, and one of those moments where we just get a thought and get a bright idea. Um, it's really something that you got to recognize as a calling. And once you recognize that it's a calling, and once you step in and begin to walk in your calling, come on, invite some other people. And I hope you're liking, tagging, and sharing tonight. Once you recognize that it's a calling, watch this. The next thing is that once you understand it's a calling, the next point to this, that's point number one. You got to recognize it's a calling. Point number two is you've got to be able to do something. You've got to be able to overcome fear, right? You've got to be able to understand that although somebody else may be doing something similar, they may have a similar service, they may be preparing a similar food, right? They may have a similar idea, or whatever the case may be. But once you get over that initial sign of fear, right? And the first sign of fear is the fear of failing. Yep. That's the first initial sign that comes on anybody that does anything new. And especially if you're no longer associated with a 9 to 5, which is a good safety net. But when you start working on your own, there is a level of fear that comes on you. And that level of fear will make you feel like you're going to fail, like the bottom is going to come out. And you've got to overcome the fear of failure. You've got to overcome the fear of failure. You've got to overcome. Listen, listen, listen. The only way that we fail is when we don't try. Which brings me to Deacon Jan. Thank you for joining. Uh, which brings me to the 12 disciples who were in a boat, and they saw Jesus walking on the water. Right? They saw him. The Bible says that they supposed that he was a ghost, and he would have walked past them, because they did not have any faith. Because they believed he was a ghost. They thought they saw a spirit walking on the water. And here it is. Peter cries out and said, Lord, if it be you, bid me come. And it's dark. There's no lighting. But Peter acts, and he gets the courage to ask the Lord to step on water, walk on water. Yes, water. He asked him to walk on water. Now, to fast forward that moment, brothers and sisters, Peter got out of the boat, and guess what he did? He walked on the water. Because what? He overcame the initial fear of failing. Sometimes you got to step out. But here's the point I want to make with this. There were 11 others in the boat. Now, Peter can get ridiculed. He can get all these other things. You can try to discourage Peter for stepping out, whatever the case may be. You may see wrong in that. And maybe it's, you might see the opposite of that, but maybe you might see wrong with that. But really, the fact that Peter was brave enough and bold enough to step out of the boat and walk to where Jesus was enough to let it be known that if you can get over that initial fear of failing, you can do anything. It was the 11 others that stayed in the boat, that played it safe, that you must wonder about. I got a sneaky suspicion. I want to ask a question: who's playing it safe and who's going to step out? Because you've got to first, if you've already recognized that there was a call, you have to overcome the fear of failing. Don't look at failure as failure, but look at it from the perspective that it's a lesson. I didn't fail. I learned. Okay. I didn't fail. I learned. I did not fail, but I did learn. And then you got to recognize what you need to learn in moments where you feel like fear is overtaking you. You've got to learn what to do to not feel that feeling and to not allow that hurdle to keep you from crossing over into the next place, into the next phase of it. You didn't fail. You learned. I know it seemed like it was a wasted investment. I know what it appears, but you didn't fail. You learn. Come on, marketplace leader. I know this is not for everybody, but here's what I'm trying to tell you. There are some of you that are sitting in the midst and on gold mines. You have witty ideas, but you're not doing anything with them. You don't think that your idea will match up to somebody else's. getting back to that point. But have you ever gone to the grocery store? Have you ever? Yes, thank you, Sister Jamie. Have you ever gone to the grocery store and they have this particular aisle, and it may say a number of things, but on this aisle, it's called the bread aisle. Now, depending on where you're watching from, every grocery store has a bread aisle, right? Or they have bread all together. All the bread is in one location. Do you think that one maker of a loaf of bread was concerned with the fact that another maker of a loaf of bread, and we were going to put our bread in the same vicinity? As a matter of fact, probably side by side, and then let people make the distinction what they're going to purchase. Um, the bread makers have no fear because they understand that whoever has a palate for their product will be the consumer. Everybody may not have a palate for your product, but there are those who will become your consumers. And those that become your consumers then will help you to understand that although you may have had moments where you have failed, then you must understand that you are marketable. What you have is marketable. I don't know if I'm just rambling, but you got to overcome fear. I don't want to just be rambling, okay? I hope I'm not just rambling. I hope I'm helping, because I only have a few minutes to help. And then you've got to build a foundation. You've got to build a foundation on faith. What do you believe? What faith principles? What faith principles are you relying upon? Are you building your business, the foundation of your business, on principles of faith? What do you believe? Who's your audience? What do you plan on doing? Who you plan on reaching? Right? And integrate your faith into your business practices. Integrate what you believe into your business practices. If prayer is the principle of faith that you utilize, and we all should utilize it, but if that's the principle of faith that you utilize, then brothers and sisters, then you need to incorporate prayer somehow within your services, or within your reach, or within your business. Huh? Concerning the daily task and the daily functions of your day-to-day operations. So what are you incorporating to help build the foundation of your business? Are you building it on the foundation of faith? That's something you got to think about, because the name is good, the license may be good, all the credentials are in order. Okay, that helps you to begin to operate in that business. But now that you're able to operate, what is the foundation of that business built upon? Because based upon what you build your business, or the foundation of your business is built upon, is based upon the longevity. Watch this, the longevity of your business. It is based upon the longevity of your business. So that's number 3. I may not get through all 5. I think I have 5. I'm going to try my best to squeeze in the last 2. If I can't, then we'll pick it up another time. But we want to make sure that we seek guidance and support. So who did it before you? See, sometimes we go ahead and we start businesses and we think that we don't need anybody's help, and we don't need, no, I got this. This was something God gave me. No, God gave it to you. But guess what? There's somebody else that's working in that same capacity, or already in business and have been for years, and they are individuals whom you can utilize, that you should utilize in levels of mentorship. Who's helping you? What guidance and support have you been seeking? I'm not talking about just your good girlfriend and and your homie and your boy or whoever the case may be that's gonna give you a yes. Who's gonna be supporting you? Who's gonna give you guidance? Who's gonna let you know when you need to do the right thing? Who's gonna let you know when you need to draw back? You need to have that support. Who is your community of supporters? Who prays for you? Who encourages you to keep going? Who encourages you to keep going when you feel like giving up? Who is in your corner? You've got to build networks, ladies and gentlemen. Support networks. Oh, you got to build support networks, and you need people in your corner. You need people in your corner. You need people in your corner. You need to get guidance, and you need people to show you what you need to do to make sure that before you take the first step, which is the last thing, taking the first step, before you take the first step is going to be secure. You want to make sure that you're not trying to take the first step before you get a foundation. You're not trying to take the first step before you get some level of guidance and understanding. You're not trying to take the first step before you do any of these things, before you recognize there's even a call. I want to encourage you that in these 5 points I just gave you tonight, that you make sure before you take the first step that you have a firm foundation. Because if you make sure you have a firm foundation, everything else after that will become clearer. You alleviate, not alleviate, but you alleviate stressful moments when you are walking on the foundation that has already been built. You're not building as you go, but you got to build it and then begin to walk on it. So here's where I leave you at tonight before I let you go. Let me encourage you that as you go, set small, achievable goals for yourself, right? Keep reminding yourself about the faith that it takes to take each of these steps. And as you do that, when the outcome is not known, don't rely on your own strength, but rely on the foundation that you have built, the foundation that is called faith. Rely upon those faith principles when things get a little murky and muddy. As you're moving forward, rely upon what you know. Rely upon your resources, the people in your corner. I want you to win. I believe you can win. Somebody needs to go ahead and shake the dust off of that business idea and get moving. Somebody needs to go ahead and allow what you have heard tonight to be something that will boost you and say, I got to get back in it. I encourage you to get back in it. I encourage you to get back up and move forward. You know there's a call. Some of you are waiting for the call, but some of you have heard the call, and it's time now to begin to walk in what he has purposed for your life. Brothers and sisters, I pray something you heard tonight would encourage you in those moments in your life where you feel like there's only brick walls in front of you. Well, if there's a brick wall in front of you, that must mean God is going to give you the means to knock down the wall. That must mean God's going to give you the means to knock the wall down and create a path. Amen to that. So I want you to take these 5 principles, these 5 steps that I've just given you tonight. Right? First, recognize the call. The second is to overcome fear. The third is to build a foundation of faith. The fourth is to make sure that you're seeking guidance and leaning upon your resources for those who support you. And then take the first step and go. God bless you tonight. We appreciate you for joining. I pray something was shared tonight that will help you, encourage you, and to motivate you to go ahead and move forward in that thing that you know God is calling you to. God needs you in the marketplace, and it is time, my dear brothers and sisters, for you to step up and move forward in what He has called you to. The Lord bless you and keep you, as our prayer. May God strengthen you and keep you until the next time we are together. We love you and we appreciate each one of you. Keep us in your prayer as we'll do the same for you. God bless you. Have a great night, everybody. Take care.
To say, so that held on to the promise, because they waited so long for it, that they held on to